Hello, guys, and welcome back to the MD Investor channel. The channel where we're talking about personal finance, setting goals, achieving goals, increasing our personal finance IQ and that of our children so we can break the cycle of generational poverty. Continuing series of Back to School, Personal Finance. Today we're going to do part one of Personal Finance Prescriptions. Part one of Personal Finance Prescription. These are things I wish someone would have told me, let me know, pulled me to the side. I would have very much appreciated it. So I'm going to be the change that I want to see. I'm going to be the change that I want to see. So, personal finance prescription, part one. Before we get into it, we're going to say definitely subscribe on YouTube. It's MD Investor. On Instagram, it's MD Investor 1. If there's others out there you think can benefit from this personal financial information, let them know. Send them a link. Share. Without further ado, let's get into it. Personal finance prescriptions, part one, right? You go to the doctor, a lot of times you don't feel like they've done anything unless you get a little prescription. Now there's not so much a paper prescription, everything is electronically prescribed, but you figure, he didn't give me a prescription, he didn't do anything, okay? So let me give you your prescriptions, okay? Personal finance prescriptions, part one. Number one, live below your means. We say that, we harp on that, we repeat that, and everything else that we talk about in personal finance is built on this one edict. You gotta live below your means. None of the investing they talk about, you will be able to participate in if you have no money. And if you're living up to the maximum, you're living up to the hilt or above, then you're broke. You have no money to invest. So there's no need to talk about anything else. So you gotta live below your means. So you make $50,000 a year, live like you make $35,000 a year. The hard part of that living below your means is humility. We are in a culture where it just says, just you want it, make you feel good, buy, swipe that card, take that vacation, get that new whip, get that new thread. It takes humility to say, I know I can do better. I know I can live in a better house. I know I can drive a better car. I know I can do take a better vacation, but I'm not going to because I have better use for my money. It takes humility. So that's it. Number one, live below your means. When you do that, that sets you up for some of the other things. So live below your means. Number two, pay yourself first. We did a video on who do you work for? We did a video on who do you work for? And basically we went through how, you pay everybody, right? You pay the mortgage, you pay the rent, you pay the utility, the insurance, the light, the cable, the car note, the kids' tuition, the timeshare, you pay Con Ed, you pay everybody, and you do not pay yourself. When you say pay yourself first, what we're saying is that, instead of making a budget sometimes, they say basically just pay yourself first and the priority that you have. And then the leftover, you'll have to manage and function on that. As opposed to the reverse, which is that pay all your bills, pay all your bills, pay your bills, eat, go out and do all this stuff. And then if there's anything left over, then I'll invest. We know what's going to happen. There's never going to be anything left over. And 1 month turn into another month, turn into another year, turn into a decade, time to retire. You have nothing. You're broke. You never paid yourself first. The book, The Richest Man in Babylon, one of the things I remember of that book is the phrase, a part of mine, everything I earn. Let me rephrase that. A part of everything I earn is mine to keep. Yeah, I think I got it right. A part of everything I earn is mine to keep. So you pay yourself first. You can pay yourself first by having your money taken out pre-tax in a 401k, right? So it's called pre-tax because you're actually taking the money out before the government gets their cut. That's why it's called pre-tax. You're taking your money out and put it over into your employer-sponsored retirement plan, your 401k, your 403b, whatever. And that's how you're doing it. Pay yourself first. Okay? You do that whether it's in your brokerage account, whether it's your retirement account, and and with compounding and all this stuff, you're gonna be able to see changes happening. So pay yourself first is your second prescription. Prescription number 3. Prescription number 3, I'm gonna say, make it automatic. Make that one. Make it automatic. I actually forgot to write that one down, but as I was doing it, I think, make it automatic. You can get so much done by making your savings, your investing automatic. Because what happens is we make a decision one time, right? Whether it's January 1st, we say, okay, we're going to change our finances, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And then, a week or two go by, a month go by, and you fall into the same rut. Because what's going to happen is, if you have to depend on yourself to make that decision every week, every month, inevitably what's going to happen is 1 week, 1 month, you're going to say, you know what, can't do it this week. I'll see what happens next week. And then it's going to happen again. You're going to miss a week or miss a month. But if you make it automatic, the money gets taken out before you see it. And then you'll have to live on the rest. It's basically tricking your mind. It's almost like the person who wants to work out and they know that when they come home and they sit on the couch and they start eating and watching TV, they're not leaving the house again. So what they'll do is they trick themselves by taking their workout clothes with them to work. So they know that on the way home, I'm going to stop at the gym to work out. They're basically tricking themselves, okay, into creating a good habit. So making it automatic is a way of creating good habit. Prescription number 4. Do not carry credit card balances. Do not carry credit card balances. We know credit cards have exorbitant interest rates, very high interest rates in the mid-teens, in the 20s, sometimes even up to the 30s. And when you carry a balance every month, you're going to have to pay that high interest. It's very hard to get out when you're paying 20, 25% interest rate. Okay, even your investments, you're not going to get investment getting that high. So it's a crazy thing to do. When you live beneath your means, what happens also is that you realize, you know what, I can't afford that right now. So guess what? I'm not going to buy it. I'll buy it when I can pay cash for it. So do not carry credit card balances. Prescription number 5. Low cost index funds is the way to go. We prefer them over actively managed mutual funds. So low cost index funds is the way to go, as opposed to actively managed mutual funds. All the experts say it, such as John Bogle, John Bogle, the founder of Vanguard. Warren Buffett said that. All the experts say, you know what, the average individual really cannot pick stocks to consistently beat the market. So what they should do is buy the entire stock market. So a total stock market index fund or a S&P 500 index fund is the way to go. I like Vanguard, but there's other companies you can use, such as Fidelity and so on. But that is the way to go. I read a book called The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. I'll probably talk about it in another video. And in the book, he recommends VTSAX, which is the total stock market index fund from Vanguard. He said, VTSAX, put all your money in VTSAX. Forget about it. Make it automatic. Keep contributing. And he said, in 40 years, you're going to need a cardiologist because you're going to have so much money when you open it. I thought that was very memorable, very funny, and it shows you his belief in it. Just simple, set it, forget it, and don't worry about the nitty gritty details, what companies go up, what companies go down. Because in his book, he said the stock market is self-cleansing, which means when you have a total stock market fund like from Vanguard, which has about 3,500, almost 3,500 stocks in there. When some of the, when some of the companies fall off the index because they're not performing or whatever, they get replaced by new companies who are striving, increasing value for shareholders, and it's self-cleansing. That's what it means. The weak companies are falling off, and only the strong survive, and you're benefiting from it. 10% annualized return, year after year, compounding, year after year. That's how you get wealthy. That's how you get wealthy. So low-cost index funds instead of actively managed mutual funds, because actively managed mutual funds, they have high expense ratio, and sometimes they'll have loading, like what they call a front load or a back load, which means you have to pay a percentage of the money you have invested just to be invested in the fund, right? Really cuts into the return. Prescription number 6. Get a non-retirement brokerage account. We always talk about having a 401k employer-sponsored plan, which is fine. But you can't really touch that until you're about 59 and a half, right? So if you are a person who wants to retire early in your 40s, 45, 50, that retirement account, that tax advantage retirement account is off limits to you, unless there's going to be penalties and fees. That's why we say get a non-retirement brokerage account, right? So you have a non-retirement brokerage account that is accessible to you at any age. So you can be 40, 45, and if you want to retire early, and that's something that you can reach and have access to. So get a non-retirement brokerage account. Prescription number 6. Learn the difference between active income and passive income. This is big. This is huge. I wish I would have known that early on. Learn the difference between active income and passive income. We've been given one way to think. Go to school, get good grades, be in the dean's list, and get a good W-2 job, which is fine to start, but we shouldn't continue and we shouldn't end up there, right? When you learn the difference between active income and passive income, you then know that my active income is a fuel, is a tool, is a resource that I use to obtain passive income by buying assets, stocks and bonds and real estate and so on, okay? So learn the difference between active income and passive income. Prescription number 8. Prescription number 8. Learn the difference between assets and liabilities. Learn the difference between assets and liabilities. Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, said assets are something that put money in your pocket, and liabilities are things that take money out of your pocket. Very simple. I never thought about it that way. Basically, that blew my mind. That blew my mind that he just really simplified it. Assets or investments or things that put money in your pocket, and liabilities are things that take money out of your pocket. So, and one of the controversial topics he mentioned was that your house is not an asset. It's the American dream. It's the biggest investment you may have, but it is not an asset because it does not put money in your pocket month by month, unless you have a tenant in there. But your primary residence, where you live, takes money out of your pocket in the form of mortgage and taxes and insurance and landscaping fees, and maybe if you have a pool cleaning fees, and the toilet breaks, you need a plumber or light or electricity, whatever. There are multiple fees and bills that's associated with a house. So we learn the difference between assets and liabilities. Your house is basically an asset for the bank, because every month you pay money to the bank. That's an income generating asset for the bank. But for you, it's a liability. It costs you, unless it's a rental property. So learn the difference between assets and liability. Liability is something that takes money out of your pocket, right? So a lot of us are sometimes confused because we are getting liabilities and think they're assets, right? Your car, unless it's for business purposes, like your Uber driver or so on, it's a liability, right? The car payment, the insurance, the inspection, registration, oil change, maintenance, all that stuff, car wash, those are expenses, and you are losing money month to month on a car. It doesn't make you money. So when we begin to learn the difference between assets and liabilities, and realize we have to kind of accumulate assets so we can get money passively, and we don't have to work every day under the sun. So we're going to stop there, guys, with the first 8 personal finance prescriptions. And if there's people out there you think guys could benefit from this personal finance information, let them know about the MD Investor. On YouTube, it's MD Investor 1, and Instagram, it's MD Investor. Correction, on YouTube, it's MD Investor. On Instagram, it's MD Investor 1. So if there's people out there you think could benefit, let them know about the MD Investor. Let's quickly review them again, guys. So number 1, live below your means. Number 2, pay yourself first. Number 3, make it automatic, meaning your investment. Number 4, don't carry credit card balances. Number 5, low-cost index funds instead of actively managed mutual funds. Number 6, get a non-retirement brokerage account. Number 7, learn the difference between active income versus passive income. And number 8, learn the difference between assets and liabilities. Just remember, the past is gone. We can do nothing about it, but learn from it. The present is here. Now the time to plant seeds. And so we can have an exceedingly and abundant harvest and enjoy our time that God has given us under the sun. Until next time, guys, remember to continue to increase your financial IQ and teach your children so we can break the cycle of generational poverty. And I will see you on the next one.